purposely invite the rock and roll element into our community?
Well, what's wrong with a little entertainment?
Entertainment is fine, but this... we have lots of big acts that come through here. Ice Capades, Tiny Toons, Kenny G.
Kenny G.
So...
Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones, Dr. Bones.
Good evening, this is Dr. Bones Live, and today my guests are Bob and Pete from the Windsor Project. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Doc, for having us.
Awesome, man. So first off, I think in this case it would be kind of self-explanatory, and knowing where Windsor is and kind of living close to it for the majority of my life. I'm assuming that's why you named the band the Windsor Project?
Actually, we started off naming it just the Project, but it turns out there was a couple other bands out there by the same name. We weren't really too sure which way to go with it, and for some reason, the Windsor Project kind of reminded us of the Manhattan Project, and thought, hey, let's go for it.
Well, you know what? There's surprisingly there's a lot of bands with the word project in it lately too. They seem to be popping up.
We started a good trend.
Just how long have you guys been like playing together and kind of working on music together? Has it been like, are you guys been friends for a long time, or did you guys come together at a certain point and say, let's start doing some music?
Well, we got together about 15 years ago, I'd say, by now.
Somewhere about there, yeah.
And we had, maybe, let's say, a little hiccup, about 8 years ago or so. We spent a couple of years apart, and we got back together and just started hammering out songs, one after another.
Well, it's got to be kind of rewarding, too. Sometimes it's all it takes is a little bit of a break, right, to kind of clear your heads.
That's right.
So with your music style in general, I mean, it's very eclectic, in a good way. And it's nice because you go from one extreme to the other. You go from somewhat of a Beastie Boys mix to just some good kind of rock and roll. Now, what was the idea behind kind of switching it up? Was it because you guys wanted to keep it interesting for yourselves, or?
Well, I mean, we're not bound by any label or anything like that, or no record execs telling us what to do. So we have the luxury of doing what we like. Whatever feels right at the time, we just kick it out.
Exactly. If it feels good, do it.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's a good point. And what you've had, there's a lot of people have been picking up on the Windsor Project, just literally from around the globe, which is the best part about this thing. And it's amazing how much further we can extend music that we couldn't do before.
Well, I'm glad you're actually helping to do so.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, and especially we always say, everybody always says, support your local bands. And since you guys are in Windsor, I mean, I am in London, but for a while I lived in Detroit, so I lived right across the border.
Exactly, across the creek for us.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in Windsor quite a bit, and mainly on Woolette. So another main strip. I'm not sure if Chip and Peppers is still there, but.
Oh, geez, that's been closed for quite a while now. It's been 4 or 5 bars since. I can't even remember what it is now.
Oh, really? Well, it shows you the last time. Go ahead.
I'm not even sure where Chip and Peppers was. I'm
it used to be Peppers right downtown, across from the theater.
Oh, yeah, now it's the City Grill.
There you go.
Okay.
Just a boring old restaurant now.
Well, it shows you the last time I've been to Windsor. It's been a long time. And I usually...
Well, we're going to have to fix that.
Yeah, because usually I cross through to get into Michigan to see my old man. But I haven't actually been around, done anything in Windsor in a long time. Now, let's get back to music. And since actually, we can use that as a good stepping point here. Since you guys are so close to the border, have you guys played a few shows in Michigan at all, or?
To be honest with you, like I say, when they on our profile it says we're just two guys that enjoy making music, we don't really play out.
Oh,
We
okay.
just write tune after tune after tune, and that's why we come out at about a song a month because we're not playing out really.
One of the things that has been kind of interesting is since posting the songs, we've had so many people knocking on our doors. Hey, if you're looking for a drummer, if you're looking for a guitarist, if you're looking for a bassist, give us a shout, give us a shout. But that's not really what we're actually about. We're more so about just writing good music that feels good to us and other people seem to enjoy. When you add extra people into the mix, it starts to get sloppy with egos, etc., etc. And Pete and I ourselves, we don't have that problem.
Well, you know what? It's actually a good thing in a lot of ways because there are quite a few bands that I've talked to, like interview that sort of thing, that are just such as yourselves, just either 2 people or 3 people, and they don't really tour. They do it pretty much all in studio. But you know what? It doesn't really matter because nowadays, I think, you don't even depending on what kind of what we'll call it, let's say popularity you want to hit or kind of recognition you want to get. You don't necessarily have to tour anymore because there's so much available online that a lot of people will listen online and pick it up from there. So
Very true, and we just really want to be heard. That's all.
Oh, that's awesome, man, and you'll definitely be heard tons on this show. So, so when you guys have been like writing the songs, I know you guys saying you kind of do what feels good. Are there any instances where you have like a predisposed idea of what the song how you want it to shape out, like lyrically and musically, or?
I think a lot of times what we do is I'll come over to Bob's. He'll have a riff ready to go. He'll say, "What do you think about this?" And I'll say, "Great." And I'll throw some lyrics on it the next day. Come back. We'll talk about the bass parts, the drum parts, and it just goes together.
Oh, that's pretty cut and dry and simple, eh?
It really is.
So that you don't hear too often anymore because a lot of times, there are it's not necessarily ego, it's just kind of wanting it to sound the way you guys want it to sound. So you know what, it's kind of like saying, no, that's all right, but maybe you can change it a little bit. And have you ever had the instance where you're saying, you know what, I just not digging this song at all?
Yeah, we get those ones.
And both of us are kind of easily satisfied. We're not trying to argue, trying to get our point across to change parts and make it to be all like studio executive type thing. It's just he writes something, I say great. I write something, he's like, oh great.
We could sit down and spend months ironing out one song, but
right.
Really that kind of takes away from the fact that we've got more music to write.
That's right.
And it's more spontaneous that way too. So a lot of times that's when you get the best songs.
Exactly.
That's where the feel comes from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I just sometimes I think of it when I hear some of these stories, and I just finish something and go, no, let me sleep on it. Like a week goes by. What do you think? Let me sleep on it. It just keeps on going further and further down the road. Now,
you sleep on it, but it's the next day the song's written pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah. So obviously you guys have a really good time together and just kind of go at it. With some of the songs, besides music, lyrics usually come pretty simply, or are they kind of taken from, let's say, past experiences, or are they kind of just you write them down and let's go with it?
Most of the lyrics come from past experiences or just things that are going around in my life that I can see in other people's lives.
Right.
And it's just inspiration to write. Some tunes are happy, some are angry, some are ballad types, and it's just how I feel.
Oh, cool. I mean, it's like I said, I really appreciate it just because of the way the certain songs go, and like you guys, like I said, it's an eclectic mix, and it's more interesting because it gives more depth to the band, and because let's face it, there are a lot of bands these days. We're not going to name any particular. But there's a lot of bands these days where everything sounds the same and there's no variation to it. They've kind of seems like a lot of musicians have kind of lost. We'll say the balls to kind of switch around a little bit and kind of adjust and alter a little bit, kind of essentially somewhat reform their sound, but kind of make it more interesting. And
very true.
That's what makes it so boring lately. And
we call it the cookie cutter theory.
Exactly.
Everybody sounds like the same kind of thing, and that's what's so great about indie music. Everybody's just got this whole different passion and feel that they put into it.
Well, it's kind of like we'll call it the old days where where music actually meant something. Where
Yes.
so you're not just pushing out a one hit wonder to make a quick buck, if that even happens.
That's right.
And to be honest with you, just with the whole indie scene in general, like I was so happy to get so involved because the regular radio, honestly, I don't listen to. The only time I'm essentially forced to listen to it is at work because I don't have a choice. So other than that, I don't bother. I always have my iPhone plugged in and my playlist going with all the indie bands I've picked up and listened to, just because I don't want to hear the same stuff over again. Because even some of the older bands with newer stuff, even that's kind of like, like it's okay, but it's time to call it quits,
Exactly. No, so many times bands walk in and the producer says to them, okay, you're going to play this part here, you're going to play this part here, because marketing says that they want this. Marketing says.
Right.
We're not about marketing. We're about writing music that actually feels good to us.
Well, on that note, we're going to get into your newest single, which we debuted last Saturday on Music Saturday.
Yes, you did. Thanks for the glowing reviews, by the way.
Oh man, that's what I love to do. So it's always a fun thing to do. So we are gonna get to your newest single called "Deep Inside." This is the Windsor Project. Dig this.
And the lies, a part of me has dreamt this dream right through your eyes. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, hate. Come and she's a calling. It's a payment for your past. Now you see the reason why none of this will last. Now you seek direction to find your way back home, but no one's even listening on the other side of the phone. Deep inside, right? You can't see what's going on inside the soul, behind these bars of your heart to try to hold. All you see is the clock, it circulates. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. You'll hide. You've traded everything you had for 3 squares and a cell. You know you've been the reason for living in this hell. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate. Deep inside, you're the one you're gonna hate.
No, like I said on Saturday, this is a rockin' tune, and I really liked it. And it's got, for me, it's got a lot of 90s influence, and it just between the guitar riffs and the hard driving vocals, and it just one of those ones, just